Give my phone.
Court is in session with Ryan in Sacktown on If You Don't Like That. Now, Ryan in Sacktown.
Oh, must be Rhino. Plenty to talk about on a Friday. Welcome in. It is an hour earlier, but it is the same great show, same Friday Royal Rumble format. Kings Court, Ryan and Sacktown with you. What's going on? It is a Kings game day. The Clippers in town to play the Kings. We've got sound from Shoot Around earlier today. We can talk about the NBA. Lot going on there. Power rankings. I know Grant hates those. I don't mind them because I think it gives you a good snapshot, not necessarily of the rankings, but each team, if you read through them, not terrible information. Also, NFL football last night. What'd you think of that game? You know, I talked to Haunted Horse before that game, and he said it was going to be a shootout. And he was right. It was a freaking shootout. The ref shows up again in all the wrong ways. Looks like they missed a couple of calls in the clutch. 49er fan, where are you at? Christian McCaffrey is back this weekend. I've got a mind-blowing stat for you Niner fans. Why this is such an important game for you. We'll talk about it in a little bit. By the way, we have got our weekly WWE segment coming up. Adam's going to join us at 1:45. 2 o'clock, you get Haunted Horse. He's going to have to explain himself a little bit, by the way. I don't think we've got a proper explanation for this.
Haunted 00 Horse. Jim, I also fathered an illegitimate child.
Haunted Horse? We know he's had multiple marriages, but he has a kid floating around out there? What's going on? We'll have to ask him about that as well. But he'll be talking about NFL. He'll probably have a game or two. NFL parlays. He is known for doing these exotics where it's like, okay, this guy's going to score a touchdown. The ball's going to land on this yard mark. There's going to be 7.2 turnovers in the game. He gets them done, though. Like what he did in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, incredible stuff. Let me know where you are checking in from today. Love seeing everybody in the chat. What is up? What's it up? I acknowledge.
Acknowledge me.
All of you. By the way, we're going to take a trip down memory lane as well. I've been looking at James Harden's career stats against the Kings. It is filthy. I mean, it is really, really bad. Keon Ellis talked about being excited to guard James tonight. Keon does not remember really guarding James in the past, and we all remember the game that closed out the preseason this last year against the Clippers. That was a very bad showing for your starters, but all that's out the window. That does not count. We are in the season. Your Kings are 2 games over 500. So let's get it started on a Friday. Let's check in with all of you first. Wanted to remind you we're brought to you by Bennett's Westside Grill in Rockland. Yes, the third location, third out of all three in the greater Sacramento area. 2 others, one in Roseville, one off of Howe and Fair Oaks, if that's more convenient for you. Go to Bennett'sRestaurants.com. Check out their incredible menu, prime cuts of seafood and steak, and also I implore you, take advantage of the specials. You got to get on the specials. So huge thanks to Bennett's for sponsoring the Kings Court today. I appreciate everybody checking in an hour earlier. Let's get to the chat really quick. Get you all in here, see what's going on, what you have to say. Let's see, Elvire, first off, let's go Kings. Yes, indeed. It is a Friday game at the Golden One Center, Friday night game. Those are always good. So what's up?
Acknowledge me.
Jake saying the same. Kings, J, NFL or NBA greater than the NFL. I don't disagree. I like the NBA this time of year. Yo, Ryan, checking in from Seattle. What's up, David? David, dude, what's the temperature up there in terms of the Seahawks? How's everybody feeling about them? I did not make it to Seattle this year for a game. Wish I could have. That is usually on the checklist. Did not happen. In fact, we didn't go last year either. So it's been 2 years, but we were at the Niners Seattle game a couple years ago in December. That was a lot of fun. Let's see. Lydia, want to see another win. Go Kings. Yes, indeed. Hi, Lydia. Hi. How are you? Good to see you. Jay, NBA is way better. What about Clipper fan? Indiana. Elvira's in Indiana. I love it. Awesome. So that's a 3:00 start from you. Jerry Reynolds would be proud of you. Have you ever been to French Lick, Indiana? That's where he is from. That's where Larry Bird is also from. Check this out. This was Clippers fan the other night in the Clippers' most recent game against the Philadelphia 76ers. Check this out. Sixers come to the Intuit Dome. This is what they did to Paul George, and this was Paul George's reaction to it all.
You mentioned earlier that the fans had a fair reaction to you coming back. Does it bother you, though, at all that they booed you for large stretches of that game? Like after 5 years here?
I mean, it's stupid. I mean, I was a free agent. You know what I mean? I was a free agent. It wasn't something that I, demanded a trade or, went against the team here. Like, I was a free agent. The team presented something that was team friendly. And I did what was best for me in that situation. There was the cheers. I appreciate them. Those were the ones that I played hard for. The boos, I didn't get it. I still don't get it when I go to Indy. But it is what it is. It's sports. That's what's in sports. So I look forward to next year being back here and, more.
So that's one of the things I'm actually really proud of when it comes to Sacramento is Sacramento fan gets it. If you deserve to be booed, you get booed. Period. End of story. If you don't deserve to be booed, you get cheered. You get respect for your time being a Sacramento King. Davion Mitchell, great example of that. You want the flip side of that? Buddy Hield, boo the hell out of the guy. When you basically tell the fan base and the team to do an inappropriate act on camera during shoot around, you're done, man. Especially Buddy had that cry face all the time. And I'm not trying to hate on Buddy because he's playing good basketball right now. The two don't have anything to do with each other. But Paul George did not deserve to be booed in LA. But Clippers fan, do what you're going to do, Clippers fan. That is on you. Hey, just be happy Clippers fan is showing up to that building. I mean, have any of you had a chance to go to the Intuit Dome yet? I'm curious. It looks pretty cool. We know about the toilets, but tonight they are in Sacramento. They're at the G1C, so we could care less about that building. Ryan Gay, where do you have him as a king? Are you talking about Rudy Gay, David? You got to be talking about Rudy Gay. And yes, I was talking about the Seahawks. How's everybody feeling up there? Who's going to be the next quarterback? This is probably the last year of Geno Smith, would be my guess. Did you want DK Metcalf traded? I'm just curious. But Rudy Gay, all-time as a king, I don't know, middle of the pack. I mean, he was one of the bigger free agent signings. Just remember, the Kings had to re-sign him, but middle of the pack. Wasn't really a contract that worked out. In fact, Rudy earlier in the summer talked about how the Kings really screwed him over. And I agree with him. I completely agree with him. He was sold a completely different plan for the year than what happened. And he felt like his prime was wasted in Sacramento. And we had kind of a conversation about could De'Aaron Fox be in that same boat. I think we're past that now because of what the Kings did in the offseason. But Rudy Gay, middle of the pack. I mean, not the worst, not the best. Solid. I mean, that's how Rudy Gay is going to be remembered. Just a solid, reliable guy. Professional as well. So, anyways, tonight, Kings Clips, we've talked about it a little bit. The Clippers coming off of a victory, 110-98 over the Philadelphia 76ers. Surprisingly, this Clippers team is pretty good at defense. They're scrappy. They're young. They're athletic. They're all over the place. They're 5th right now in defensive rating at 108.8 point wise. They are only averaging, or they're only allowing 107.6 points a game to their opponents. So think about what the Kings experienced in Miami in the first half. I think you're going to see a very similar type of defensive scheme from the Clippers tonight. Now, offense is a completely different picture when it comes to the Clippers. They've got James Harden, Norman Powell, and everybody else. You've got Zubac as well, who has given Sabonis problems in the past. But this Clippers team turns the ball over at a ridiculously high rate. 27th in the NBA at turning the ball over. What is a Clipper? Yeah, I don't know, Jay. It's a great question, Jay. Is it the tool that we use to clip our fingernails? I mean, that goes with toenails too. Is it hedge trimmers? The Los Angeles hedge trimmers? Clippers? Is it scissors? I don't know. Put your ideas in the chat. What the hell is a clipper? I am open to your interpretation of what a clipper is. You know, now that I think about it, Jay is exactly right. The Clippers.
That don't make no sense.
It doesn't make a lot of sense. Now, does it? Now, we could say that about a lot of teams. There are a lot of team names that don't make a ton of sense, especially in college. I think they meant to put the S where the C is, the sippers. That would be the sippers, the drinkers. Gin and juice. Think about Snoop Dogg and all them down in Inglewood, in Compton. The sippers, maybe. Oh, no, slippers. Slippers. It would be slippers. Type of boat. Is that what it is, David? David would know. He's in the Pacific Northwest. He would know. Dude, David, you know the one place that I missed? David, do me a favor. Is Anthony's right there on, I believe it's Pier 39? Is Anthony's still open? Stainless steel outside the restaurant. I love Anthony's anytime I come to Seattle. Oh, boy. A Mac and Jack, some of their mussels. You dip the grilled bread. Oh, that sounds so good. Okay, it's a vessel. Okay, we are getting some confirmation. Old type of ships. Well, their logo looks nothing like a ship. That's the problem. In fact, you know what? Let's go down a little bit. I got a bigger picture of their logo here for you. It looks like the Space Needle. That's what it looks like to me. The Space Needle. Yes, it is still open. I love that, dude. Anthony's is, oh, that's such good food, man. We stayed actually on a yacht in that pier. I think it's 39. And so we were next to Anthony's for like half of the trip. And then the other half of the trip, we went out and ventured to a couple of the islands out there. Oh, dude, you're getting me going now, man. Want to be back in Seattle. We'll ship the Clippers back to San Diego because LA hates them. You know, I don't think LA hates them. I mean, there's enough of a fan base there to build that arena. And I guess Steve Ballmer, he's got the money to do whatever he wants. But they are kind of second fiddle. Now, the NBA is better when the Clippers and the Lakers are both good. Because it's fun to see the fan bases go back and forth. I don't have a problem with that. We're going in on the logo now. I love it. Here we go. There are a few Anthony's loving it. Dude, you got to get down there. Get to Anthony's. Grant told me there's another restaurant. I can't remember the name of it. He's like, dude, you got to get there next time you are in Seattle. My favorite thing, though, in Seattle is going down and walking around near Pike's Market or whatever. I think it's Pike's Market. But that's the best. All the little mom and pop stands, the farmers markets, Yeah, now I'm going hardcore on Seattle because I am a Seahawks fan and a Seattle fan. Looks like Donald Sterling took a poo. Yeah, Donald Sterling is a piece of poo. David, that's the front of a cruise ship. Is it? Does anybody else see that? That logo looks like a cruise ship, not a clipper ship. It is a cruise ship. I see it now. Good job. Good job. And get it. See, it's kind of got the compass too, pointing. Okay. I'm seeing it. I'm glad we're working this out. Once you see it, you'll laugh. No, I got it now. I see it. Front of a ship. You guys are all over it. Good job by all of you. Do you guys like cruises? I can't get my wife to go on a cruise. She's afraid of being in the middle of the ocean. Me, I couldn't be happier in the middle of the ocean. Do we have cruise fans in here? If so, what cruise should we do? In fact, I just got her to agree to maybe do a cruise. We'll see. You know who is a big cruiser? Haunted Horse. Patrick, MSC Cruises. All right. LA fans are the most fair weather people on earth. They only like the Clippers when they're better than the Lakers. It's true. It's true. Now, there's a couple hardcore Clipper fans like Billy Crystal. He's a really hardcore Clippers fan. Law Murray, he's not a Clippers fan, but Law Murray does incredible work. He is the staff writer for The Athletic who covers the Clippers. Make sure that you pay attention to his work. He is really dialed in to what goes on with that team. In fact, he was going to come on the show in the preseason. It didn't work out. Weren't able to catch up today, but Law Murray, if you ever need to know anything on the Clippers, check out his work. Really good stuff. Let's see. Yeah, everybody's kind of seeing it now. All right. I think a Clipper needs to have a sail. Maybe Hawaii cruise. Jay, I don't know if I would do the Hawaii cruise just because we do Hawaii a decent amount. Maui is our place, Kaanapali Beach. I just want to be on Maui if I'm going to do Hawaii. I don't need to go to any of the other islands. Alaska, John, I've heard that. My parents did the Alaska one. Good contribution to you, by you. I heard, though, it's really hard to get into. Is it Glacier Point, or I think it's like National Glacier Park? One of those things. You don't always get to go there. Mark says, my wife wants to go, but I'd rather be on a beach. There you go. You know, the whole thing with the cruises is if you're one of those people that likes to have a few cocktails, you like to gamble, then a cruise is probably for you, right? You get the all-inclusive drinking package. If you gamble, that's on you, win or lose. But if you're not, I could see yourself getting a little bit bored on the ship. Never been on one. My son loves them, though, Patrick says. Rather be on a ship than a plane. I'm so funny about that. Look, we're way off track, but that's all right. That's what we do on the show. In fact, let's put your comments up really quick. We'll be talking more Kings Clippers in a minute. We've got Adam coming up at 1:45 talking WWE, 2 o'clock. Haunted Horse, NFL parlays, Royal Rumble Friday. Get in here if you want. The show is open to you. The link is in the chat. Also, you can scan the QR code on the screen as well. Okay, so I never had an issue with planes. In fact, every male in our family is a pilot or is on their way to being a pilot, except me. And I was cool with flying. My dad, I got to grow up around airplanes, got to go up in the sky with him. And once we're in the air, he'd let me fly, yada, yada, yada. Really cool stuff. And then coming to San Diego, I had a very, very bad experience on a plane, an awful experience. And it terrified me for about 5 or 6 years to where I didn't want to get on a plane. And like the littlest little shake, I'd be like, oh, crap, But now I'm cool with it, man. When I went to Wisco, it was a super easy trip. I was cool with it. Planes do not bother me whatsoever. I have heard the food is decent on the cruises. I have heard that as well. Yes, Lydia had a blast on a cruise. All right. So we are talking Clippers. We are talking cruises. We are talking airplanes. We are talking what the hell is a Clipper. We're talking Seattle. We're talking Seattle Seahawks, WWE, Kings. Whatever it is, we are talking it right here on the Kings Court on a Friday. Happy to have you all with us. We've got some audio from Shoot Around today from Keon Ellis and Kevin Herter. I'm not going to play them in any particular order. Here's Keon after Shoot Around this morning.
I think we know what type of disruption we can cause in the defensive end. And I think you just try to carry that throughout the length of the whole game. Obviously, it is a little more tiring, but you have to have more energy to do that. So, but just trying to do that throughout the game, so you kind of put things away early.
That's been a big point of emphasis, and I asked that question on the post-game show last game. We've seen these spurts from the Kings, the third quarter in Miami. We saw the fourth quarter last game against the Raptors. Where is that energy for 48 minutes? Can they bring that energy? Do they have the personnel to do that for 48 minutes? And let's be real. It's not realistic if we think the Kings are going to be able to play like that from tip to tip or tip to end. But why is it that it comes when they're down? I want to see them come out and punch a team in the face first. This team, when they are clicking on all cylinders, they are extremely, extremely difficult to deal with. Kevin Herter also talked about that. Remember, he's recovering still from an upper respiratory issue. I thought his wind was pretty good the other night. He was not a big contributor, but it's good that he is back and feeling a little bit better. Here was Kevin after Shoot Around today.
Their identity, they're playing super hard
on the Clippers.
Defensively, they're one of the better defensive teams in the league and are really disruptive. They don't really have anybody on the team that they try to hide or that you can really kind of go out and pick on. And so they present a lot of challenges defensively that we're going to have to be, on our stuff here offensively tonight and match their intensity. And again, they're a team that's been playing super hard.
You're talking about that. So.
Yeah, they're going to have to be careful. So we know what James Harden can do, right? James Harden is James Harden. He's either going to show up or he's not going to show up. But Norman Powell has kind of been the wild card for this team. In fact, some people in LA, some following the Clippers, are saying the Clippers are trying to make Norman Powell a little bit of Paul George's replacement. I'm not quite ready to go there yet, but he can fill it up when he is on. You give these guys the belief, especially some of the younger guys. They have a very young team that's figuring out how to play with James Harden, and they're either on or they're off. You cannot have a game where you let this team believe, much like in Toronto, where the Kings let the Raptors get some confidence and say, hey, even though we're missing our best players, we could still play with you, because some of these guys don't have a guy over their shoulder waiting to take their minutes because of injury issues, especially without Kawhi Leonard right now. And when we talk about James Harden, what is the expectation for him against Sacramento? I'm going to go through his career stats against Sacramento. Okay. Check this out really quick. In OKC in 2009-2010, he averaged 7.8 points against the Kings. The next year, 11.5. The next year after that, 18.5. The year after that, 26.7. In 2013-2014, 32.5. You guys ready for this? 2014-2015 in Houston, 40.3 against the Kings for the season. Granted, sample size small. 2015-2016, 36.3. 16-17, 20.8. 17-18, 27.5. 2018-2019 in Houston, 39 against the Kings that season. Last year with the Clippers, 23-24, 16.8. So, which James Harden is going to show up tonight for the Kings? I know this. James Harden is very, very good at drawing fouls. He is very good at those deceptive moments, those deceptive moves that we don't always see as fans. And if we don't see them, sometimes the refs don't see them, or the refs see them and we don't, which is why we're like, why the hell was that a foul call? But you know who else does that to a T? DeMar DeRozan. So the Kings are going to have to stay on their feet. I would expect a heavy, heavy dose of switching a heavy dose of showing James Harden different looks and pushing him off the three-point line. That is what you have to do tonight if you are the Kings. Much like the Kings did to Anthony Edwards in the first game of the season, you need to see a much similar effort to that. Because James Harden, he's hot and cold. We know that. Last game, when they played against the 76ers, Harden ends up finishing with 18 points. Your leading scorer that night was Norman Powell for the Clippers at 26. In fact, why don't we put up some of those stats for you guys so you can see what the Clippers did last game? Yes, Grant, open forum, not today, but we will take that down. Let's throw these Clipper stats up for you. Here we go. I'm getting used to this screen sharing stuff, so bear with me. Here we go. Here is the Clippers box for you if you want to check it out. It's what the Clippers did last game against the 76ers, but Norman Powell, 26. You see the Clippers bench, not a ton. Amir Coffey, he had 11 in the last game. He is the one that can go off a little bit coming off of that bench. So you got to watch for him. And as I saw in the chat just a few minutes ago, this bench for Sacramento has absolutely got to show up tonight. Juan, right there on spot. Which bench player will go off on the Kings tonight? I'll say Kevin Porter Jr. Yeah, it's a decent candidate. I would say if a bench player is going to go off, it's going to be Nick Batum. Because Nick Batum is really good at spotting up in the corners beyond the three-point line, and those are the type of players that hurt the Kings or have hurt the Kings traditionally. What about Boucher for the Raptors? The guy's got the weirdest spin in the world on the basketball, and he's not really a three-point shooter, yet he lit the Kings up in 6 quarters. Unreal. So Batum is the one that I am worried about. He always has a good game against us. Yes, he does. So I'm watching him. Amir Coffey is going to be a little bit of a tough guard. Bones Highland, he gets a few minutes for him. So it's going to be a team effort for this Clippers team. They will play a lot of people. In fact, they will probably be a little bit fresher than the Kings because the Kings bench is so limited tonight. So if we apply this same question to the Kings, who's going to go off for the Kings? It's got to be Malik Monk. And I know that's the easy answer, but Malik and De'Aaron, there's something about playing against LA, especially when they are playing in LA, that they really thrive on. But Malik has got to be the guy leading the charge because there's so much speed. This team, the Clippers, predicated on movement, predicated on a little bit of one-on-one. That's what James Harden does. So you just can't let some of these guys go out and act like they are the next coming or the next sixth man of the year in the NBA. What happened with your plane experience that scared you? Dude, so we were flying in to San Diego. And for those that don't know, it can get really, really foggy in San Diego at night, really foggy. And there's a period of the year where they call it June gloom, May gray, etc. And we went to fly in. They said that there was a fog warning. And anybody that's flown into San Diego before realize you are flying through downtown. So like you're going above Petco Park, by the buildings, and as you come in for a landing, you've got a neighborhood right there to the right of you, and you've got buildings in the harbor to the left. And so we're coming in, and we got, at least I did in the plane, disoriented because we had been in the fog, in the clouds for a good minute and a half, 2 minutes. And the plane was shaking a little bit, and then all of a sudden the plane accelerated. And at that point, I had lost my sense of direction. I had no idea if we were going up. I had no idea if we were going down to the side. I thought we were about to crash. And the next thing you know, we popped through the fog and the clouds. It's called like an emergency withdrawal or something like that. And I got off as soon as I got off the plane, because we had to go to Ontario. They flew us back to Ontario. I called my dad. I'm like, Dad, like, I thought I was going to die. He's like, dude, are you kidding me? That's the most basic maneuver for a pilot. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. I lost my orientation. That was so scary. I thought he's like, settle down. And for whatever reason, that freaked me out. And we had to fly a lot after that still with basketball and stuff. But that is what freaked me out. I did not like that. That scared me. And I've had worse experiences than that on a plane. We were on our way to New York for New Year's Eve the year after 9/11. So it would have been the first New Year's Eve, or it would have been the year after 9/11. Yes, correct. Because it was my freshman year. Is it my junior? Anyways, it was a couple of years after 9/11. We'll just put it that way. And we were flying we had a layover in Dallas and then Dallas to New York. I was lucky enough to be in first class, and we're sitting there and waiting for the plane to take off. And I didn't know it, I didn't really notice it, but there were a couple guys that were kind of moving about the plane, like in and out of first class. And all of a sudden, FBI agents and police come running onto the plane, and they slam these guys down and they take them off the plane. And everybody on the plane's like, holy shit, was this thing going to get hijacked? Were we going to be like the next victims going down? And what ended up happening was they were trying to sneak into first class, but the authorities were not messing around at that time. So they took all the bags off the plane, checked everything. And again, I called my dad, who's a pilot, and I'm like, Pops, I'm not flying to New York. I'm coming home. He's like, are you stupid? He's like, that's going to be the safest flight in America right now. Get your ass on the plane and have a glass of wine and shut up. Yes, sir. So it was fine. But yeah, you would think that would have scared me. No, it was the emergency withdrawal. I hated it. It freaked me the hell out. Let's see. Give me your stories. You want to put your stories in here? Let me have them. Had the craziest turbulence with the layover in Denver. Oxygen masks came out. Really? Really? That is kind of creepy. Okay. Did you have to use them? Did you have to use them? Because nobody pays attention. Nobody ever pays attention during that. You've got your AirPods in. You're not supposed to have your phone on. You're supposed to have it on airplane mode. Nobody does that. You're not paying attention to the stewardess that's giving you the demonstration. It never happens. I don't think there are rules against that in the CPA. What are you talking about? Are you allowed to turn lights off when the opponent shoot free throws? No, you are not allowed to turn the lights off when opponents shoot free throws. Why is that? That's an interesting question. Miller, you think that's going to be the person? All right. Well, good enough. We have got, let's see. Sorry, no worries. No worries. Happy you're all here. Cruise can be a floating mall too. Dude, Lydia, it's a floating city. It's literally a city on the sea. Some of these cruise ships. I was watching a YouTube video about one of the biggest ones. It's 10 stories. When it's docked at port, people will pay to spend a weekend just staying on the ship because of what you're saying, all the fine dining, all the shopping. Yeah. I don't know that I'd get my wife to be able to do one of those, but yeah, she's open to it. We're making progress. She said, as long as we do not stay in a room where you're close to the water, like close to the water level, if we're up a little bit, which means probably a nicer room, she'd do it. So we're working our way there. We are getting there. A lot going on today. We've got Adam stopping by in about 10 minutes to talk WWE Crown Jewel, taking your calls as well. We've got audio from Shoot Around today, Kings and the Clippers tonight. We will have full coverage tonight of the Kings and the Clippers right here on If You Don't Like That, beginning with the pregame show at 6:15. Join us back right here. I will get you ready for the game tonight. We will go much more in depth on what the Kings need to do, rotations. I've watched the film from last game. I have some thoughts on that. So all of that will be at 6:15. Halftime, we've got Jerry Reynolds with us. Looking forward to having him on. And then, as always, we've got the post-game show tonight after the game. Want to hear from all of you. Yes, even you, Peaches Johnson. Peaches, you want to check in? You are more than welcome to. We'll be opening up the phones to you. And also, you'll be getting a rant with Grant, sponsored by EDH Motors. So you get to choose Grant's rant tonight. Hopefully, we are talking about a rant that has nothing to do with a Kings loss. By the way, I told you we're brought to you by Bennett's West Side Grill in Rockland, located in the Blue Oaks Town Center. Do me a favor. Go to Bennett'sRestaurants.com, your phone, your computer. It's suitable for work. Don't worry. You won't get in trouble for Googling that. Check out their incredible menu. There's a little bit of everything for everyone. My son loves to eat there, loves the kids menu. Also, kid loves the red fish. It's a blackened piece of fish. It's not actually red like Grant's hair. It's a normal color, but they blacken it. You put some lemon on it. You get some sauteed spinach. One of the best fish dishes I've ever had in my life. Also, if you're in the mood for a steak, you can pick your steak out. They will bring out the raw steaks, and you can pick the one you want. The New York Prime is really hard to beat there, but if you're not looking to do a fancier meal like that and you want to do something more frugal, check out their specials. Weekend brunch, you can get a bottle of champagne and 2 entrees for under $50. They've got weekend prime rib, happy hour, 2 to 6 o'clock, Monday through Friday. Their sips and tastes, 60 different wines by the glass. And also, you can now put in your to-go orders on Bennett'sRestaurants.com. Pay attention to the website. If you're somebody that does not like cooking on the holidays, they are going to start taking pre-orders soon for holiday meals where they do the work. All you got to do is heat it up. So those sell out really quick usually. So what I'm saying, go check out Bennett'sRestaurants.com for all of that and more. You can make reservations there, buy gift cards, and much more. Huge thanks to them for sponsoring the Kings Court today. We're talking Kings. We are talking Clippers. We've not talked about the NFL last night. The Bengals go for 2. Did they get screwed by the refs? I'll leave that to you. The Niners, what about Christian McCaffrey? He is returning. I told you at the beginning of the show that I had a stat for you. If you are a Niners fan, that is pretty shocking considering how inconsistent the Niners have been this year. And by the way, the Niners on their way to Tampa Bay this morning. If the Niners win in Tampa Bay on Sunday, check this out. They have a 66% chance of making the playoffs. A 66% chance of making the playoffs with a victory in Tampa Bay. You can do the math on what the percentage is if they do not win on Sunday against Baker Mayfield and the undermanned Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So, Christian McCaffrey back in there. We'll talk about it a little bit more with Haunted Horse at 2 o'clock. But 66% chance of making the playoffs if the Niners win on Sunday. Really interesting. Back to the chat really quick. What is your favorite cruise city? I stopped by Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and Galveston. Love Miami Dock. I don't know because I've never cruised. I guess my favorite cruise city or my cruise island is Catalina, because I used to go to Catalina a decent amount when I lived in Southern California. And the big cruise ships did not come into Catalina, but cruise ships did come into Catalina, like those, I don't know, like 2-day cruises. So I used to like watching those come in and come out. Jay, just live stream your thoughts through the game. No, I'm not going to do that. I like to, for those that don't know, I chart every game. So I chart every shot in every game. So I have a process. It helps me better break down and analyze the game in real time. I don't think that I really want to do the talking while the game is going. Let's see. Monday Night Football. Oh, excuse me. Tampa. No, that's not Monday Night Football. They're playing on Sunday. Surfing in Ocean Beach is great. Planes overhead every 3 to 5 minutes. Grant would love it. Ocean Beach is great. Ocean Beach is a little bit more south. OB is south. South, right? Because you go Mission, Pacific, and then La Jolla, and that's going north. So yeah, Ocean Beach is south. Yeah, OB is okay. Pacific Beach is the big one where a lot of people surf. That's the one that you see all the time on TV with the vacation rentals that go down the pier. There's a little breakfast place there called Konos, and they haven't raised their prices, and they take pride in it. They put a little sign up that says, "We haven't raised our prices in 600 and some days." But their breakfast is massive. You sit right there on the pier. It's like a grab and go thing. You watch people surf. Dude, I did not surf, but I would bodyboard. You got to be careful about the riptides at PB. I got caught in a riptide one time. That was not fun. Hit my head on a rock under the water. Luckily, I had a buddy with me. Anyways, we are all off the track on this Friday. It's all right. Let's get back on it. I told you we were going to be talking WWE Crown Jewel. What's happened in wrestling this week? We do it every Friday. Looking forward, we've got a lot to discuss because of the PLE that was this last weekend. And we do that with our WWE correspondent who is bent about ticket prices right now. Adam, what's up, dude?
Yeah. And you know what? I'm still bent. They just released Elimination Chamber tickets today. $550 upper level. Who wants some? Come and get it.
Dude, they are pricing people out. Holy crap.
Come on. It's ridiculous.
You know, I wonder if it's because they're not really doing house shows anymore.
Yeah, who knows what it is? I mean, you know, I think people are going to pay it and stuff, but I you know, these are like the pre-sale packages and things like that, but you know, I still haven't seen them cheaper for any of the PLEs, you know, on Ticketmaster, StubHub, or whatever, all that kind of stuff. So it's weird, man. It's weird.
Can you imagine once they do the spear, how much those are going to cost?
Yeah, I thought about that. They might.
Crap.
They're probably going to cost more than you know, WrestleMania itself for 2 nights.
I would agree. I would completely agree with you, dude. So what's up, man? We had a big week in wrestling. Crown Jewel went down.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you want to start? You want to start at Crown Jewel? Yeah,
let's go ahead and start there. Overall, it was not my favorite one of the year. It might have been my least favorite one of the year, if I'm being honest. I think they got 2 things right there. I think they got the Bloodline match right and the LA Knight match right. But outside of that, I thought they kind of missed the mark on the results there.
Okay, let's talk about Cody and Gunther. Cody wins the Crown Jewel Championship, which, by the way, we had a discussion last week about what do you do with this belt? Do you defend it? What happens? So we did get confirmation. It is real. Like the gold and diamonds and platinum in this thing are legit, but it stays in Saudi Arabia at their WWE Experience. What do you want to call it? Building, or they've got kind of like this. What do you call? Is it like a?
Yeah, something like that. Museum.
It's like a museum. It's like Sequest, but for WWE, I guess. Like where it's interactive and stuff. But the championships stay there, and then the champions get a ring. But I've got a thought on that. So why don't you give me your thoughts on Cody and Gunther?
Yeah, you know, I think it was just blah. Look, I get it. Cody's the man. He's such a baby face, and they're giving him everything, right? I get it, but I think you gotta, like, I don't know. I think Gunther's been doing a good job, and he's sort of on the up and up right now, and he's getting a reaction out of the crowd, and I think people are starting to really like Gunther. But I think you could have, you know, maybe they don't like the idea of kind of casting this shadow of doubt with Cody right now, which understandably so, but I think they could have mixed it up a little bit and had Gunther win.
So I think they got it right. I'm going to disagree with you because Cody is the mega baby face. Maybe I'll go out on a limb in saying he's probably a bigger Cena than Cena was during his time at this point. And you've got to really legitimize one of the two titles. And if you're going to legitimize one of them, it's got to be the one that Cody has. So I think they got that right on that one. Callan is jumping in. Crown Jewel was not great. The OG Bloodline versus Bloodline match was magical. And the end of Gunther versus Rhodes was weird. See, I thought they got the end right, Adam, because you can't have like a decisive, here's my finisher, and squash the other champion. It's got to be like a quick roll up or like one of those quirky things. But,
Yeah.
you know, like Gunther can come, I think Gunther can take the loss easier because he's kind of like that sleazy heel that can bounce back. He does the promo on Monday Night Raw saying, hey, we're, you know, we got to be better, and Ludwig Kaiser or whatever. Excuse me, I don't say it right. What's his name again?
Ludwig Kaiser.
Yes, there you go. So anyways, why don't we talk about the Bloodline since Callan brought it up? You said that one was great. What did you love about it?
Well, I just thought that was the right call to you know, kind of further Roman's struggle with him being the one pinned and all that stuff. You know, I think it kind of builds towards what they did on Monday night and bringing in, well, they did it that night as well, but you got a little more clarity on Monday night with Sami Zayn joining.
Yeah, how do you see this playing out? Because Sami Zayn's kind of playing the middle card still. Which side is he going to go with?
I think ultimately they are going to set it up for that War Games where he will be with Jay and Jimmy and Roman. I just don't see who else would join those three to take on the new Bloodline. So I think it makes the most sense. And you know, we were talking about this 4 or 5 months ago or something like that, and I was like, I was always like, I'd like to see Jimmy and Jay get back together. I don't know if I love them all together in the Bloodline, but I kind of like those two mending their differences. But yeah, I don't, you know, who knows? I always loved Sammy when he called himself the master manipulator, and I think he should have been the one to sort of bust up the Bloodline, and you know, he had a motive to break them up.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with Sammy, but I think he's gonna side with those guys, and at least for one night, right?
Yeah. By the way, JWB is back. I can't say the name, but I'll put it up. JWB's going Kings 118, 110. JWB, what are you, like 202 years old now?
Yeah.
Just
He's shooting his shot.
Yeah, he's
Acknowledge me.
well done, dude. I don't know how Roman keeps taking the clean pins. It's kind of
Yeah, I mean, he dished out quite a few in 3 years straight or whatever it was, almost.
Yeah.
So I think he's got to do a little bit of that, and you know, bring his legitimacy into question. And you know, now's the time to do it before you start to probably push him for a title belt, I would say, in the next 6 months or whatever it is, right?
Fair enough. Fair enough. Callan, correction, marginal, not magical. Thank you for that. Really quick, Jacob Fatu, we're not going to get too much into it because we have a short time today. But pay attention to what happens with that. He apparently, do you know about the situation?
The charity stuff?
Yeah, why don't you tell everybody?
Yeah, I don't know a ton about it, but it looks like he agreed to be part of some of these charity events where they would bring in different wrestlers. They would pay for their flight, their hotel, and probably a couple bucks on the side. and he no-showed at one event, did not return any of the money, and that specific charity organization reached out to other organizations that had hired him, and it seems like there might be a pattern there, but I don't know too much about that situation. That's just kind of what I know.
Yeah, we'll keep our eyes on that and how WWE handles it. I heard he paid back one of the organizations, but
I heard that a well-known relative paid back some of these organizations and might be doing an appearance for them in the near future as well.
Oh, a well-known relative that likes to show his tuchus on TV.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the women's crown jewel title match. Callan says, I have no idea how Liv Morgan survived. She was mashed over and over and over by Nia Jax. Your thoughts on it, Adam?
Yeah, I just thought the whole thing was lame. You had no Tiffy cash in whatsoever. I think Nia Jax should have been the one to win that match. Personally, I'm bored with sort of the Judgment Day as a whole right now. I'm bored with Liv Morgan and the Dominic and the Rhea storylines. Obviously, Rhea is going to be on the shelf again here for a little while, and they're going to have to pick that back up once she's better. And I just don't really care to see more of it. Like the Damian Priest versus all those guys too. Like I'm done with it. I think it's time to move on for those guys. And I think you're seeing that, Damian's got the number one contender shot for Gunther's title again. I think Gunther wins that, but I think it's cool to give Damian another shot at it. Because I think he is deserving, but I don't think he wins ultimately. I think they're going to open that door for Bronson Reed. I think he'll be the next one. And I think that's the difference between Gunther and Cody's title reign. I don't know where Cody's next opponent's going to come from. Is it going to be KO again? Is it going to end up being Randy Orton for some reason? But I don't know who that clear rival is for him. Obviously, I think Roman down the line is going to be that guy, but for right now, it just feels kind of up in the air, and he's just kind of floating. He's kind of playing second fiddle to the Bloodline storyline, in my opinion, right now.
It's really interesting about the KO situation. I like what they're doing with KO. We talked about it last week. It reminds me of the Drew McIntyre kind of build up to where Drew really got strong again, but I don't know where the end goal is going to be. It's either going to be KO and Cody, but the Randy and Cody match seems to be the one that everybody wants. And I think you could get so much mileage out of that story. So much mileage. And Randy would obviously have to turn heel.
Yeah. And I don't know how you do that unless he somehow maybe aligns himself with KO, and that sort of fuels his title shot against Cody. I'm not sure how you set that one up, but
I think it's simple. You have Randy win the Royal Rumble, but see, that's where it gets complicated, because how are you going to sneak
far
Punk
away?
Well, how do you sneak Punk into stuff, because he's supposed to be getting a main event match? Maybe that's the Elimination Chamber side of things, but you have Randy win the Rumble. And then when Randy's going to choose who the champion is, they do one of those things in the ring, and Randy acts like he chooses the other person. Then he just RKOs the hell out of Cody, and you're off to the races.
Yeah. You could do it quickly that way. I think the CM Punk stuff, maybe he's more of a Gunther guy. Since they're on Raw and all that. But
yeah, good call. Dominic, they're doing something with him. I'm excited to see what the push is there. I'm agree with you about the Judgment Day. It is stale as hell, and they need to do something different. As for Crown Jewel, I don't have a problem with Liv going over. I think she's the more established talent. She's really, think about it. She went from Tough Enough to now being what she is in WWE. And yes, I have a soft spot in my heart for Liv. I love Liv. Right. But the Tiffy stuff, man, they are making Tiffy look so stupid.
Weak.
They've got to reel it back in.
Yeah, I I kind of liked what they did. I think it was the Friday night leading into Crown Jewel where Tiffy was like, why don't you shut your mouth, Nia? You're starting to piss me off too. Like, I like that. And I thought it kind of brought, oh, which one is she going to cash in on? And then ultimately there was nothing like having her walk back towards the entrance, towards the, middle end of the match or whatever at Crown Jewel, I thought was like pathetic. And it just kind of made her look like gutless. And so I thought that was kind of weak. And I think they do sort of make her look gutless, like she's always bowing down to Nia and all that crap. But for her to do that and then not cash in was super weak to me. And I think they, maybe they didn't miss an opportunity. Maybe they're setting something else up, which I think they will. And I think she ends up turning on Nia, but we'll see. I just I don't.
Well, they
Cash it in.
Yeah, no, I hear you. They obviously did not want Crown Jewel to be newsworthy. Like I've given this take many times. They don't want a ton of media around Saudi Arabia. And even if you look at Crown Jewel this past year or just a couple weeks ago or last week, it was like a freaking 3,000 person arena. Like it was not 60,000 people. They had a big ass set in that small arena, but like they don't care about that show. It's a throwaway show.
Yeah, and I think I might have joked with you about it when it was on, like, oh, this is why we're paying $600 for Upper Level, because they booked a 3,000 person venue for Crown Jewel. They got to make their money back on us. But yeah,
dude, they're making so much money off the Saudis.
I know.
No, like if I'm the Saudis, I'm the one that's pissed with the amount of money that they're paying. I texted you lame because, and I know you hadn't watched Raw.
On Monday, yeah.
The Priest and the Gunther stuff, it feels old. Like,
sure. Yeah, they're going back to the well with it. To your point, I'm glad you brought up the Dominic stuff, because I did think it was cool that they made him a part of that 4-way match for the number one contender spot. And the thing I forget is Dominic's so young. He's like what, 28, I think.
Yeah, he's not even 30.
Yeah, he's so young, and so it's cool to, I think he's done enough to pay his dues. He's done enough on the mic.
Oh yeah.
And so yeah, like let's consider him. Does he need to be in the conversation with like a Gunther? Maybe not yet, but I think that dude's going to go down in the Hall of Fame of WWE one day. He's gonna
absolutely.
Be awesome. Yeah,
I agree. He is the perfect guy. He is the absolute perfect guy to put the Money in the Bank briefcase with, and then have him cash it in a sleazy way, and you're off to the races.
See, I think. And I don't know that it's going to be in the next year or anything like that, but eventually they're going to have this heel or face turn with Dom. And I think he's ethically going to make the right decision at some point. It's going to be something maybe to help his dad win or get over or something like that. He turns his back on the Judgment Day to help his dad, something like that. I think something will click in him and he'll make the right move, and he'll be the biggest face. He'll be LA Knight Cody status, I think, once he does that.
All right. I like it. All right. So what are you looking forward to, or what are you watching for in the next week of WWE?
I'm not even sure what we got going on tonight, to be honest with you. Let's see. Pull this up real quick.
Is there any storylines or anything that you're particularly like keeping your eye on?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's the Bloodline stuff. Who's coming to SmackDown tonight? Someone's crossing over again, and they've been doing more of this, which I'm cool with. I like it. Someone was posing the question: should they kill, the brand split? And we were talking about that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
I like. I'm okay with the brand split, but I do like the crossover, and I think I'd like to see more of that stuff, like what they're doing with Jay going into Monday night and all that jazz. I'm digging that.
Tiffany Stratton, hottest. I'm gonna say superstar. I will pay her respect instead of diva. Do you think she's the hottest in WWE?
Mm,
I know you don't.
I still think Chelsea and Piper are going to get theirs soon. I'd like
But-
to see Chelsea Green. She is she the hottest one right now?
No.
She might.
Who
she
is
might
the
be.
hottest girl in WWE?
Like, are we talking looks wise or
Looks.
just like
Yes, Derek is asking looks. I know
Derek.
Derek's brand now.
you dirty dog? It's CG, baby.
Chelsea Green. You're
It's
going
not
Chelsea.
by a mile.
Oh man, I'm torn there. I don't know. You know who is a little bit of a dark horse that doesn't get a lot of TV time? Is it what's her like? Renee Dupree
Oh, Maxine
or
Dupree.
Maxine Dupree?
Sure,
She's a little
She's
bit of
great.
a dark horse.
she's great.
You know, NXT
Yeah,
he's got a couple of
and don't hate on
Adam said Piper. Yes,
Don't-
Piper Niven.
don't
That's-
hate on Piper.
No, Piper's cool. She seems like
great.
a cool chick to hang
She
out
does
with.
seem cool.
You know, I still gotta lean Liv Morgan, but Tiffy is pretty. I mean, you can't go wrong.
You know what's-
Kalani Jordan in NXT is beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Oh gosh. Crap, I lost my track of thought. Yeah. Oh, here's what it was. Tiffy was standing next to Rhea Ripley recently, and those two are like the same height. They're both built like
Yeah.
pretty similar. Side by side, you noticed it. I think individually you don't notice it as much, but yeah, I saw them standing next to each other the other day, and I was like, holy cow, like Tiffy's just as big as Rhea is, and Rhea just looks like a monster, you know?
Tiffy is dating Ludwig
Married.
Kaiser. Oh, they're married. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Uh-huh. Ludwig.
And was his buddy Gunther? How do you say it?
Gunther.
You think Gunther was the best man?
I don't know. I think they are pretty close outside of the storylines in the ring and all that stuff too, though.
Very good, dude.
Not so much with God, they brought him back and disappeared. Giovanni Vinci. Rumor was he was hitting on Tiffy. So that
what
might
an
have
idiot.
yeah.
What
And then
an idiot.
they ran that promo with him where he was like driving a Lamborghini or whatever. Well, and then he showed up for a match and then he was gone, and we haven't seen him since. It's so weird.
That don't
They
make
do
no
that.
sense.
Yeah, that don't make no sense.
What a knucklehead. Dude, way to kill it. Good job.
Thanks, bro.
We will be back next week with you talking more wrestling, dude. Tell everybody where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me at the Casual Guy Cast on YouTube and Twitch. You can find me at Casual Guy Cast on X. I will preface and say I haven't done a show in about 2 weeks. I was definitely ill for a couple of weeks there. Plus, on top of that, super busy with work. I went to the doctor last week and they were like, well, I think you had pneumonia. So, they got me on a Z-Pack this week and I've been feeling great ever since then. So we're back in business and hopefully we'll get this thing rolling soon here. I'm just gonna
Dude,
get my butt kicked.
Dude, I'm glad you're feeling better. Pneumonia is no freaking joke.
Dude, it was wild.
Out this summer. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
All
we're
right,
feeling good now.
good. All right. We will talk to you soon. Great job today, buddy.
Cool. Thanks, man. Let's light the beam
Appreciate
tonight,
ya.
baby.
Light the beam. That is Adam, our WWE correspondent. I agree. Good job, Adam. I don't want to see him back in the WWE. He is, I don't know. He's a little weird. He's one of those guys that left the WWE and just went freaking weird. Anyways, speaking of weird, this guy definitely still has some explaining to do.
Haunted Double O Horse, Jim. I also fathered an illegitimate child.
But he does know his football parlays We bring in Haunted Horse to talk some Week 10.
Dude, I'm cold on the parlays, man. I couldn't win a one horse race right now. I'm just missing everything by like one or two. Last night I missed because I had the wrong tight end on Cincinnati. I went with Jasecki, and it was the other guy that got it. So anyway, am I here?
You're here.
Okay. Sometimes the audio doesn't work.
You are here,
yeah,
dude.
I know. Hey, I got to keep it real. I cannot sit there and say, "Oh, I'm killing it." I mean, weeks 1 through 3, I was murdering the books, but the NFL got all topsy turvy. Last night was fun. I got the game right. I had Cincinnati +6, so I had that.
Yep, I had that one as well, dude. So before you got here, I shared a stat with everybody. If the Niners win, they've got Christian back this week. Bane's pumped about it, and I know you probably are too.
I'm cautiously optimistic. I'll go into my thoughts on that.
Okay, so I'll let you go right here in this second. If the Niners win this week, they have a 66% chance of making the playoffs. They lose, you know, the other side of the coin.
Right.
So where you at?
I have the Niners winning the game. Tampa, you know, I don't know if Evans is coming back yet. I haven't looked at that line yet. But you know, Godwin's gone. So they're doing everything with Cade Otton. And I was surprised that oh my gosh. And he's a former Duck. Their backup running back. Anyway, the names again are killing me.
The Niners are 6.5 point favorits on the road.
I have the
in
Niners
an early
winning the game. I'm not concerned about that. I don't think I don't knowing what Christian McCaffrey has, the problem, the tendonitis in the Achilles in both legs, we're not talking one leg. That does not go away. Now, it might be a pain tolerance thing, but it can also be aggravated. So we'll see. I know he's not going to have a full workload. There's no way because he's had to shut down his legs. I mean, you can't exercise any way. And I don't know how you get stamina by not using your legs. I mean, I'm guessing there's probably some cardio you can do with your arms, maybe like a half of a rowing machine or whatever. But I would imagine he's going to get 25, 30% of his normal workload. And then you'll see, and of course we've got his backup is still got the shoulder issue. And then they do have, it's Guerrera. Once again, the names are killing me, but so I think it's going to be a 3-back rotation, which against Tampa Bay should get the job done. I'm more worried about the future. If they're going to get this turned around. Tampa Bay, I can't believe their offense is still firing without those two guys there too. That's what's shocked me the most is Baker Mayfield's doing it all. It's like that they did not step down as much as I thought they would. So the one other thing that concerns me with the Niner game, it's a 10 a.m. I wish the NFL would stop doing this. It's a 10 a.m. start on the East Coast, which means the Niners are basically starting a football game at 7 a.m. I hate that. I wish they would make those 1 o'clock games when they have to fly across.
It is not a 10 a.m. game.
That's what I just saw.
No, it's 10 a.m. our time. They never start games at 7 a.m.
Okay. It's 10. Okay. So ESPN's adjusted. Okay. I'm used to having them give me East Coast.
Yeah, no, the only
10
games that start that early is if they're overseas, and the Giants are overseas.
Got it. You're right. I for some reason I was computing that from an East Coast time to 7 Coast. Okay, yeah. The New York game will be at 6:30 a.m. Got it. Anyway, I'm a hot mess. Bucky Irving, thank you very much. I knew it was an I. He's a former Duck, killed it for us, the Oregon Ducks, and Bucky Irving. I was expecting him to get more like treating him as a wide receiver because they had they were missing their 2 stars to try to free up Otton, but Otton got freed up all on his own. So
see, for me, JP Mason, you talked about the shoulder issue. Is he going to be able to really be effective? That's a tough injury for a running back, especially the way that he runs. And then Isaac Guerendo, he's been back and forth. You know, he's had some good games. He was good on Sunday Night Football, and then he's had some bad games and not got playing time. So
yeah, but he doesn't have to carry the workload now. Now they can use him as a respite for the other 2 guys.
Oh, Peter.
When I had by the way, remember when I had that wig on last week?
Yes.
That blonde wig, and you said I was like some political pundit that has gotten every election right in the last 9 elections or
Yes.
whatever. He got this one wrong.
I know.
Not to say politics, but he was wrong. Maybe
I
I
know.
jinxed him with wearing the wig. I don't know, but he got
Yeah,
it wrong. I'm
I
like,
know.
whoa.
You know,
Anyway.
I believe I think that his system is still completely
Oh,
accurate.
sure.
I
Look,
think he just completely misjudged some of his keys.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So
No,
anyway.
I get it. It's what people thought was important. He thought he gave greater credence to things that were less important. I am not going politics for everyone, but what I did see out of the exit polls is 70% of the people voted what they thought was best for the economy.
Okay,
So
we're going way too many politics here.
yeah. All right.
This
It is
guy
what it is.
this guy wants in on the discussion too.
It's Corn Dog. I want to hear how are the Ducks? Wait, the Ducks are on a bye this week, right? Corn Dog.
Yeah, the Ducks. Their next game will be Maryland, I believe.
Nice.
And then
Nice.
they have Wisconsin and then Washington end out the year.
Nice.
No. They
Washington
play
ends-
this week. Their bye week is the week before Washington.
Oh, they play this. Oh, they play Maryland and then the bye week. Okay, good. I'm not the Huskies don't scare me. Other than
I believe.
rivalry games sometimes get a little wacky than what they're supposed to be, but they don't. Washington does not
Yeah,
scare me this year.
games in Autzen, anyways. And
Nice.
The Ducks literally have like the best home record in college football.
Yes. Yeah, luckily we got all the hard teams in Autzen, and Michigan wasn't a hard team, and we had to play them in their house. And anyway, so what's up, Corn Dog? Happy Friday.
Yeah, I've kind of been away for a little bit, but I was busy with a lot of Halloween stuff, and I had to do some NCAA 25 grinding for that Shedeur Sanders card in Ultimate Team.
Nice.
Wait, what? Wait.
Yeah, you got a Shedeur Sanders card?
No, it's on the video game. What did you have to do on the
I had
video
to
game?
grind out because the new Shedeur Sanders card that came out. I really needed a better quarterback, man, and that one was just really good. 91 overall Shedeur Sanders card. I really needed it, so I was on my grind.
There you go, Flores. What's up, dude?
Acknowledge me.
Baines in the house.
Corn
with
Dog,
his
who's your-
emojis.
Acknowledge me.
And
Who's your
Derek?
Heisman top candidate right now?
Ashton Genty.
Okay.
Yeah,
There's one.
I'm still going with Genty, man.
All right. Got it.
Like if we don't give it to a running back for this type of season, when are you ever going to give it to a running back?
Yeah, right.
Boise State needs to make the playoff, though, and I know they're projected right now too.
If they control their destiny.
Yes.
So as long as they win the games they're supposed to win, they will be in. Yeah. What about Army? I don't think they deserve to be in because Army is Army. It's different, whatever. But I mean, I root for Army, and I don't know that they belong in the playoff. But if they run all the way through, of course, they don't play Navy before the selection committee. I mean, is there a scenario where Army gets in to the playoff, the 12-team playoff?
Well, this is also a committee that favors for some reason certain teams over other teams. They favored Ohio State a lot, so that's why they're the 2, which
Right.
also meant Penn State didn't drop a lot for losing to them. So
Right.
this is a committee that favors Ohio State. That's what we learned is they're
Right.
favoring that Ohio State matchup a lot. They believe a lot in this Ohio State team. They like the roster a lot, and that's why they're the highest ranked 1-loss team.
I mean, the roster, they talk about NFL draft. They will have more drafted players on that roster than probably any other college. So that makes sense. However,
it's a $20 million roster.
They're 1 loss. I mean, there are teams that have 0 losses behind them, which doesn't always mean everything to me because Florida State didn't even get in last year and they had 0 losses, and it looked like the committee was right.
Hold on, Corn Dog. Let's change course here. Peter's calling you out. You didn't do your picks last week, dude?
I did not.
What?
I did not. I was so busy on Halloween that I totally blanked out on those.
What you have were you in a sugar coma or what? I mean,
I had a total dud on week 9. I did not get any picks in because I did win the Costco Halloween costume contest. So
you won.
Nice.
Wait. You won the contest. What
the
were you
prize?
dressed up as?
I went Beetlejuice. I had full on makeup and everything.
Nice. What did you
Yeah.
win? What was the prize?
Oh, I get bragging rights, and I get my photos on the wall. I get my own wall now.
Dude, when I worked at Safeway and I won the Halloween costume contest, I got $50, and this is like 1993, and a paid day off.
Well, they used to, but they cheaped out this year, man. They also used to have a whole family like Halloween trunk or treat thing, and they didn't do it this year. They cheaped out this year.
Oh, that's
So
lame.
guys, really quick, I want to run this down really quick for the Fantasy Pick'em League. By the way, Peter is our defending champion. For those that don't know, Maximus 209 currently in the lead with a 59% pick percentage, 81 and 56 on the season. Then Latvia, Steve's a fan, Ray Guys, hot punts, JJ picks, Purdy, good team, let's see, picks are usually lame. Paul, I'd rather still be fishing. H Monkig, Sea Dogs picks. Bro, you didn't pick last week? Oh, that's Sea Dog. That's not
That's not me.
That's right. Baby Yaga, Light It Up, Flynnbot, Mile High Club, Dr. J, Brian, and then Napes. All picks matter. That is where we're at. And where am I in that? Holy crap. Am I all the way down there? Let's see. Yeah, I'm only picking at 47%. So good job. If you heard your name, you guys are doing well. We are still going strong. Remember, there is $200 of gift cards on the line in this. So make sure you get your picks in.
Yeah, don't do me, but I was just, I was in it because I had a rival for this Halloween costume contest. Yeah, he went as a Venom from the Venom movies, and he had a 3D printer, so he dressed up as Tom Hardy's character, and he had like an attached Venom guy on the side. Have you seen the Venom movies?
I have not seen a Venom movie. No, I know the character from the comic books, but I have not seen one.
Yeah,
because they keep getting bad reviews. So it's like,
yeah, I think they're okay at best. I don't think that much about them.
How many are there? 3 or 4?
3. Third one just came out.
Yeah.
So I want to go around the horn really quick. Since we've talked a little bit of college football, I want to go back to pro really quick. I'm not sure if you guys have the schedules in front of you.
I do.
But okay, perfect. What is your game of the week, and do you have an upset of the week? I'll start with you, Corn Dog.
Game of the week for me is honestly, I'm going with Commanders and Steelers.
Okay. I like that one.
Yeah, that's pretty much 2 playoff teams with the way they're playing. We're gonna see, Jaden Daniels, the former Heisman right there, still kicking ass, and yeah, I'm excited to see that one. And then upset alert for me, you know what? Cowboys Eagles. I think the Cowboys can do it. That they always come ready for those games.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna say that's kind of my lock. Philly -7.
Cooper Rush. Jerry Jones loves him some Cooper Rush.
I mean, yeah. I took the Eagles in -7. I don't see how Dallas. Eagles got other weapons. They looked shaky at the start of the season. Both receivers were dinged out. And Hurts became one-dimensional, but now these guys' receivers back, they've been clicking, and Dallas is just circling the drain. They're horrible. They have no running game. There's no threat of a running game with them. So you can anyway.
Hunter Horse, what do you got? Game of the week and upset.
I'll go with, I don't know what game of the week means, like what I'm most
what you think the best game of the week's going to be. What are you looking forward to seeing?
Here, listen, this is just my most interesting game of the week. This is what looks really weird to me. Denver, Kansas City looks very interesting because you've got 2 totally different opposite sides of the spectrum teams going at each other. Kansas City's finally they got their weapon with Hopkins, so they made up for their early wide receiver, their best wide receiver going out. So they got Hopkins, but he's still, I'd say, about 80% into the playbook, even though he got 2 touchdowns. And Denver's really good on defense. They're kind of plodding on offense, but they can run the ball. The quarterback's getting acclimated. Bo Nix looks like he's doing everything he can do right now. And Kansas City keeps winning. They're undefeated, but they win ugly. Kansas City -7.5. I think I would go Denver +7.5 on that game.
All
that
right.
to me looks really interesting.
I like that. I was going to go with Corn Dog on my upset. I think Dallas knocks off Philadelphia. I'll give you one more, even though it's not really a big upset. I think Houston in Sunday Night Football beats Detroit. Detroit's a 4.5 or 4-point favorite on the road. And I think that Steelers Commanders game, that's going to be such a fun game to watch. I think that's going to be a really good one.
Yeah.
Really quick, because we're going to wrap up here in a second. Flores is asking Corn Dog, college game of the week. What are you looking at?
Oh, college game of the week is easily the playoff eliminator. It is Alabama at night going to Baton Rouge to play the LSU Tigers. Winners live, losers out of the playoff race.
Who you got?
I'm going Tigers. They are one hell of a team and scary at night at that stadium. I don't know what voodoo magic's there, but at night it is, the crazy things happen. It's hard to beat them at night there.
How long do you think? So I believe Alabama, I'm weaker on college than NFL. I believe Alabama got the coach from Washington State or Washington, correct?
Yeah,
how long? So obviously it's a disappointing
He was at Boise
year.
State before, just so you guys know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously it's a disappointing year because they're used to having, being in the mix every year. How many years can he do this before he gets in the hot seat? Obviously you give him a year, but if he hasn't next year, he's not in the playoff. And the next year, what are we talking about? 2 or 3 years if he's not in the playoff with Alabama? Do they look for someone
else? He gets
else?
at least 4 years.
4
he gets
years?
a cycle. Absolutely.
Think so?
Absolutely.
I mean,
you got to give him a cycle of his own players. These aren't really his players.
What if
Ryan Williams is one of his guys? Just remember that. So he can bring in, really good receivers guys. Look what he brought in at Washington, like Odunze and them.
That's good.
What if it really hit the fan and he didn't make a bowl game in 1 year? He just had a bad year. Is that a death knell within the next 3 years?
Not a bowl game. They finished 5-7 at Alabama. Oh man, that
would be a job killer.
Yeah,
right?
that's probably a job loss.
So as long as he's bowl eligible, he's got 4 years.
Unlike Saban, what he inherited at Bama before. This guy's inheriting Saban.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, it's a bigger drop off than what I thought.
Dude, you're really going out on a limb, like McElwain situations, like humping a shark on a boat, dude.
That shark picture.
I mean, yeah, they're going to lose Jalen Milroe, but I think Kalen Moore's going to either bring in, a transfer or get a good recruit at quarterback. He was really good at that. At Washington and at Boise State. And, he already got, the quarterback's going to have a number one wide receiver in Ryan Williams, probably for the next 2 years, whoever they bring in after Milroe and whoever other receivers he gets in after that. And so I think they'll be fine. They're not going to be as dominant as Saban was, but also remember, there is no divisions anymore in the SEC where you could, take advantage of a weak division and squeak into that title game. Now you can't. So it's a lot harder.
The portal and the NIL money have changed. The NIL money especially has leveled the playing field at the top anyway.
Yep. All right, boys. Final word, Corn Dog.
Beat the Clippers.
Amen. Haunted Horse.
I disagree with you on the Detroit-Houston pick. I say Detroit -4. I don't see Houston. I don't think Nico Collins plays. I don't think they have the firepower to get into a shootout with Detroit.
All right. There you go. Gentlemen, appreciate it today. Both you killed it.
All right. Appreciate it.
All right, boys.
Fun.
Have a great weekend.
Yeah.
Good job by them. Really good job. Fun Friday show. If you're just tuning in at 2:00, we are going to be starting most shows at 1:00. during the basketball season for the Kings Court. Hopefully it works for your schedule. If it doesn't, catch the replay, catch the audio. Make sure that you are subscribed and following on the X. Also, you get premium audio, the Kings insider stuff, what I'm hearing from my sources, the people that I'm talking to inside the building. All of that is up on the Kings Court with Rhino on Spotify and also Apple Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, wherever you find podcasts, you will find it there. And make sure you're subscribed here too. If you don't like that, we've got full coverage tonight. You know that, of the Kings and the Clippers. The pregame show, 6:15, kicking off the coverage. We'll have halftime with Jerry Reynolds, and then postgame with Grant and I, where we open up the phones to all of you tonight. Peter, dude, I did not have a chance to get around to Jerry Jones this week. My apologies, Peter. That will come back. I promise you Jerry Jones is coming back, especially now that I think his hits are on Tuesday. And now that Jerry is no longer doing Tuesdays during the season, he's doing Wednesdays with Grant and I. We will definitely get around to some Jerry Jones audio. Lord knows that he gives us enough, as you said right there. John Finch already putting it in, 116, 111 Kings. Appreciate it. Bane. Yeah, we're going to be back again tonight. So it's going to be a super heavy Kings show. It's all Kings. It's the pregame show, 6:15. I've got a ton of different stats I want to bounce off you. I've watched the film from the preseason game. I also watched the film from last game. So give you what I'm noticing, what I think the keys to the game are as well. And then obviously the rest of the night, how do you miss Jerry Reynolds at halftime? You can't. You got to come back for Jerry. We have a lot of fun with him. And I hope all of you have a lot of fun this weekend. But not to worry. We are back at it. Kings basketball tonight. Looking forward to it, beginning with the pregame show at 6:15. My thanks to Adam. My thanks to Haunted Horse. My thanks to everybody in the chat. Corndog, good job coming on. Good week of content. Thanks for sticking with us. The in-season schedule is a little infrequent because of the Kings game. So again, make sure that you're subscribed to the Kings Court with Rhino on Spotify, Apple, Amazon. Wherever you find your podcasts, you will always have consistent audio over there from me and my sources with the Kings. By the way, I didn't say this, or I didn't tell you guys this during the show. I'm probably going to be in Stockton in the next couple days, checking out the Stockton Kings at training camp in advance of the 11th. So looking forward to that. I will report back to you. And also, we will be having a Stockton Kings special on the podcast as well. Gabe Harris, the GM, still wants so badly to come on the show. It is just a time issue right now. So we'll get him on at some point this season as well. But again, 6:15 tonight, we're getting at it with the pregame show. Kings Clippers, light the damn beam. Stay the hell away from Levine. Court is dismissed.